Thank you, Masters of Ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, this evening marks a coming together of greatness and exemplifies the power of repetition. How many of us know that we are what we do repeatedly? So I've always thought that the nomenclature Tourism Service Excellence Awards was in some way repetitive. Because if you think about tourism by its nature and origin, it produces service. And if you think about service as a construct, it inherently begs for excellence. But the repetition here, ladies and gentlemen, is, however, not redundant, because each word powerfully qualifies the next, and the emphasis ensures resonance, that those we are celebrating are simply spot on in their delivery. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause. And so as I bring welcome, I must first bring welcome to the Minister of Tourism, the Honorable Edmund Bartlett. Feel free. This gentleman is Tourism Minister of the Caribbean, the world, and all human existence, now, before, and forevermore. If you believe it, give a round of applause. Most recently, our minister has been dubbed the leading minister for innovation globally. That's a big deal, ladies and gentlemen. And I just want to frame something for you. Many artists will tell you that Jamaican audiences are the hardest audiences to please. Yeah? Many of our reggae artists will go to Japan and do very well, and they find it hard to just crack a Jamaican audience because we're a tough crowd. But recently, our minister, who has been given the international accreditation and the Caribbean accreditation and the innovation accreditation, has recently been dubbed among the top 2 performing ministers at home. That's a big deal too. In his own words, the minister likes to tell us and to say to the workers of the industry, you keep Jamaica top of mind and create experiences that are opinionated. I like to quote him, you know, he's a brilliant man. And so today we place you all at the top of our minds and our hearts. And we're heavily opinionated that all of you in the finals are indeed stars. The Honorable Bishop Conrad Pitkin, Custos Rotalorum of the parish of St. James. Sir, we give you a warm welcome. To our permanent secretary in the Ministry of Tourism, Mrs. Jennifer Griffith, who almost militarily keeps the ministry firing on all cylinders. We want to give her a round of applause. To the chairman of the Tourism Product Development Company, Mr. Ian Deere, who, you know, he's also business mogul of the Caribbean for 2018. And by the way, before you clap, he has recently whispered to me. He's hinted that he's trying to follow in the minister's footsteps. So since he's done the Caribbean thing, the next thing he wants to do is the international, we know he can do it. But more importantly, as chairman of the most important agency, he pushes for nothing but excellence, ladies and gentlemen. In his own words, and I quote, we are ecstatic. And he's hardly ever ecstatic about anything. He's a hard man to please, so that's a big deal. We are ecstatic that so many wonderful persons are employed in tourism, which gives us hope of bright decades ahead. Round of applause. In absentia, I still feel the need to mention the chairman of the Jamaica Tourist Board, Mr. John Lynch, because he has himself, yes, round of applause, he has himself taught us how to sell tourism. And ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know this thing, the minister will tell you that the team of himself and our minister would have been witnessed in multiple countries closing many deals. Correct, Minister? including the most notable selling of ice to some Eskimos in Russia and Alaska. And they have done so successfully, ladies and gentlemen. A round of applause for John Lynch. And in his own words, he has stated that our most valuable asset is the unmistakable hospitality of our people. It is because of you that Jamaica remains the place of one love. And the chairman of the Tourism Enhancement Fund, the Honorable Godfrey Dyer, and ladies and gentlemen, I think his parents knew he would be the godfather of tourism. And so they did not choose the prefix in his name lightly when they said Godfrey. And so it's a man I've come to respect very greatly, and I'd like to share a little bit of his own words with you. And I quote, he says, as a godfather would, I implore you to see yourselves as ambassadors of tourism, doing all you can, whenever you can, wherever you can. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the Honorable Godfrey Dyer. I'd also like to give a special welcome to Mr. Bert Wright, Chairman of Jamaica Vacations, the JAMVAC, and I heard one of the masters of ceremony refer to him as birthright, which is a whole different thing. And maybe it is that's a very powerful way to represent him. But Mr. Bert Wright, we welcome you on all that you do at the Jamaica Vacations. Mr. Omar Robinson, the President of the Jamaica Hotel and Tourist Association. Welcome, sir. Dr. Kerry Wallace, Executive Director of the Tourism Enhancement Fund, my partner in crime, my brother, my super ED colleague. Welcome, sir. Mrs. Joy Roberts, the Executive Director of Jamaica Vacations, who I have a wonderful working relationship with. Thank you so much, Joy, for all that you do. The Deputy Director of Tourism for Marketing, who represents the Director of Tourism, Mr. Donovan White, Mrs. Camille Glenister. Let's make her welcome. Members of the board and the directors of the agencies of the Ministry of Tourism. Dr. Carol Guntley, Chairman of the Tourism Service Excellence Program Committee. The 2018 finalists of the Tourism Service Excellence Awards, I expect to hear it louder than that. Sponsors of the 2018 Tourism Service Excellence Awards. We couldn't do it without them, ladies and gentlemen. Members of the media, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a celebration of excellence. We think that these national awards are the Oscars of the industry. Do you agree? Yes, 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 I will repeat that because once again, repetition here is not redundant. This is the Oscars of the tourism industry. And because my base is a researcher, I did some research and I learned that it was an academy librarian who later became executive director of the academy, who thought that the award itself resembled her Uncle Oscar. That's the story, you know. And so she started referring to it as that, and then the rest of the staff started calling it the Oscars. So I therefore like to think that if another executive director of, say, TPDCo, were to say that this level of excellence here represented tonight resembles our superstar minister, and therefore refer to it as such, that all my 200 staff members should therefore follow. So I therefore declare these awards renamed the Edmonds. Come on, you can do better than that. On a very serious note though, one organization and one individual will, at the end of the evening, become the 2018 Tourism Service Excellence Awards national champions, and for that we are thrilled. I speak on behalf of the Tourism Product Development Company when I say that we are elated and also humbled to have been given the opportunity to execute such a significant program. These persons and organizations they represent are truly the backbone of the industry, so they must be pedestalized They must be aggrandized. They must be acclaimed. They must be hailed. They must be adulated. And most of all, they must be idolized by those who would seek to achieve similar levels of excellence. Tonight is their night. So I must give the finalists pride of place by acknowledging and congratulating them as finalists of the Tourism Service Excellence Awards. I invite the audience at this point to specially recognize them by standing on your feet and giving a rousing round of applause to the persons that have safely got to this point. They epitomize tourism service excellence. You defied the odds. You withstood many challenges. You persevered and impressed a myriad of visitors to our shores. And for these many reasons, you deserve to be honored. You may be seated. To all the pioneers in the tourism fraternity, the staff of all our agencies of the Ministry of Tourism, welcome. You have been allowed a backstage pass to all the work that goes on in the tourism sector. And I know you have a greater appreciation of the sector and the people involved. We are all proud to witness this moment tonight and celebrate with those who are here. Welcome, especially to our sponsors and partners. Your contribution to this event has allowed us to herald the message of tourism service excellence further than we originally could have. We welcome you with an open heart and with outstretched arms. The Tourism Service Excellence Awards benefited from your generosity. We believe in our people and brand Jamaica as much as you do. And to have you join in this celebration speaks volumes of your interest. We were able to provide opportunities for our winners, and for that we are grateful. We are in fact delighted you could celebrate with us this evening. To the members of the media, welcome. And we look forward to the live broadcast and subsequent positive sharing of this evening's event as we recognize and showcase our 2018 finalists and winners. I invite you to enjoy this evening of celebration, to listen, to learn, and be inspired by all our finalists. Be guided by their stories, their triumphs, even their failures, as we all work together to contribute to the well-being of all Jamaicans. Welcome one and all, and do enjoy a splendid evening. Thank you.